All right, thank you guys. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully, you had a great start to your week yesterday, and welcome to College Football Week 13. And of course, this is our ACC Conference edition. We got ourselves a handful of games on the slate beginning on Friday in the ACC, so let's go ahead and dive into them. We got it already queued up, ready to go. We're going to go ahead and talk about Notre Dame squaring off against North Carolina, and that's going to be a 3:30 p.m. Eastern start time this Friday. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame are the 4-point favorite on the road, total 66.5. Now we're 5-1 in our last 6 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page, and access to the Underdog tier membership costs just $4.99. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, I'm just going to explain that a little bit more in further detail in just a few moments here. We're also 2-1 in our last 3 NFL tier membership plays on that site as well. We have over 750 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. Now, Notre Dame's scored 92 total points in their last 2 ball games, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. The Fighting Irish, they're scoring over 40 points a game on the road this season, and they're rushing for over 205 yards in that same category. Running back Kyron Williams has 777 yards rushing on the season and 10 touchdowns on the ground. Williams is averaging nearly 6 yards per touch. Meanwhile, quarterback Ian Book's also averaging 5 yards per carry, and he's punched it into the end zone 6 times on the ground himself. And despite smaller numbers passing this season, Book still has thrown for 11 touchdowns compared to just 1 interception. So really not hurting his team with costly mistakes. Pretty efficient, not over the top, crazy numbers, but certainly isn't hurting his team. Now, wide receiver Javon McKinley has 24 catches for 414 yards. He's averaging over 17 yards per reception. And this Notre Dame defense has also been fantastic on the road this season. Just 15 points a game they're giving up when they travel, and they're giving up less than 75 yards a game rushing in that same category. Safety Kyle Hamilton has 39 total tackles on the season and 5 PBUs. Hamilton is an absolute presence in that Notre Dame secondary. He's 6'4", 219 pounds, just an absolute unit, an absolute enforcer. And speaking of enforcers, Isaiah Foskey and Adito Kumbo Ogunjeji each have 3.5 sacks from the defensive line. I don't know how to say his name, but anyway, the Fighting Irish defense is holding their opponents to just 180 yards a game, passing on the road, and less than 4.3 yards per play in that same category. Now, they're taking on a Tar Heel ball club who's failed to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 3 themselves. The UNC defense gives up over 31 points a game at home and nearly 300 yards passing in that same category through 8 games. Through 8 games, the Tar Heel defense has yet to force double-digit turnovers. UNC's also given up 31 points or more in 4 out of their last 6 ball games. Now, total-wise, UNC's last 4 straight all got over the posted number. They're officially 3-1 to the over in Chapel Hill. Meanwhile, Notre Dame saw their last 2 straight get over the line themselves. 5-2 to the over in their last 7. Give me the Notre Dame Fighting Irish -4 and the over 66 and a hook in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines of personal leans out for college football Week 13, and of course, this is the ACC edition. But before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are 5-1 in our last 6 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. And if you want access to our Underdog tier package, it's only going to cost you just $4.99. We also went 2-1 in our last 3 NFL tier package picks on that site as well. Now, you might be wondering, why should I sign up for picks on Patreon where I can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. I'd probably think of that myself. But if you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I do with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it is certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. I strongly do not recommend betting every game on the board. I'm telling you not to bet every game on the board, as a matter of fact. But anyway, the books are way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you the more and more games you play like that. And to be honest with you, the bookies have just so much more money than you do to be able to absorb that type of action. They can withstand those swings betting every game. You cannot. So what I do on Patreon is I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus placing wagers on every single game that is on the slate, side and total. Now, if you're curious about joining, just keep in mind, we currently have over 750 members signed up and active on that site. It's not like it's this Bush League small page with only a couple people. We have over 750 members signed up and active on that site. So if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. I highly recommend it. And the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that said, we're going to dive into some Saturday action. And I'm talking about NC State Syracuse. And that game is not on our board. I don't see it on the big screen behind us. But that's going to be a 12 p.m. Eastern start time in upstate New York. Now, NC State's minus 14 on the road, totals 52.